Hello everybody and welcome to Vicky, Pattison, The Secret to. This week I am joined by none other than Love Island star, one half of Faye, and the biggest thorn in Ofcom's side. It's none other than Faye. Everybody!
Hello love, how are we?
Good, thank you, Petal. How are you?
Oh, I'm okay. Life's a million miles an hour, but I'm just about coping with it. Luckily I'm a bit tapped, so I'm joining in well with it.
Honestly, mate, I can't imagine how you must be feeling right now. Have your feet even touched the ground since you've left the villa?
Not really, apart from last week, because I had to come home. I had to come home for some personal reasons, so I needed to come home, and it has been a bit more chill. But then at the same time, I'm saying that, I'm like, I've got a list as long as my arm that I need to do, and I'm like, I will get through it. And most it's like life admin, and I'm like, I'm shit at that. Anyone want a PA job? I'm putting it out on Indeed.
It's always the stuff that gets left to the bottom of the pile. But you know what? This time should be exciting. It should be a million miles an hour. And just enjoy it, mate. I feel like that's my best advice to you.
Yeah, it's hard, isn't it? Because you just never expect it. You never know what to expect. And I didn't go in there expecting anything into the villa at all. So to come out and it's this mad, I'm like, cool, these people deserve an absolute medal that do this day in, day out.
What did you expect, Faye? Because I think Love Island's been going for long enough now, and we know we've seen huge characters and big stars come from the series. You've got your Chris and Kems, you've got your Olivia Atwoods, you've got your Molly, Mae and Tommy's, like Shauna, really big stars. So did you go in there thinking, this could be the making of me? Or did you just think, I could find the love of my life? Or were you just like, fuck this, I'm having a summer holiday? Where was your head at?
So when you apply for the show, they always ask you throughout the whole process what your worst case scenario is. And mine always was, my worst case scenario is my best case scenario. I go in there and I come out and I go back to what I love, with the people I love, with the job I love, with the family that I love. That is it. So I didn't go in there with any expectations. And I honestly did think to myself, I'll be in there a week, everyone will fucking hate me, and I'll be straight out the bloody door. And it did. I mean, some people did hate me, obviously, as we're aware, but obviously it lasted in there a lot longer than I even imagined I would. But the only thing I was looking for, I wasn't looking to change my career, I wasn't looking to move to London, I wasn't looking for any of that. All I was looking for that would add to my life was obviously someone I kind of fancied and could see something with.
So right, strip it all back, mate, and let's be dead honest. You were exactly who they were looking for then. You did want to find someone nice that made your life better, that, you wanted to do the mattress mambo with, all those lovely things.
So down in Devon, there isn't many men, let's be honest. There's either young farmers, which smell like shit all day, which is great. A lot of girls love that.
Not for you though.
Not really for me. I love walking up on the moors and stuff, but I ideally like something that smells nice. So
come on, man, lads, lash on a bit of dupe, pop on a bit of Dior Sauvage.
Yeah, I know, that's the thing. Dupe jump, there you go, hun. Might get you a little Lynx Africa whilst I'm at it. But no, I went in there for the right reasons. I didn't leave my job going into Love Island. I was very prepared and wanted to go back to it and didn't have a problem with doing that. I didn't go in there looking for anything more than someone. And also, who can say they've been into the Love Island villa? It doesn't matter how much money you pay. Even today, I would never be able to go back out there because it's not like it is. It's a set.
I think it was Ollie Murs. And we were both, it was like...
Oh, just a little name drop there.
Just
only Ollie Murs.
He was a guest on the pod. We didn't just bump into each other at Sainsbury's, I swear. And and we were saying, I was like, God, I would have loved to have done Love Island Faye. Obviously, yeah, not now. I'm 34 and I'm fucking knackered. But I swear to God, if Love Island being a thing back in my day, not the class, the celebrity one that I used to watch, but normal, I would have definitely jumped at the chance. I just feel like it looks like such a fun summer. Is it as fun as it looks?
It is amazing. It is absolutely amazing. Don't get me wrong, it's hard. It is hard, and you don't know the time. You don't know what's around the corner. You don't know what's next. You don't know who's coming in. It's hard. And I can't say that if I knew that one of my family and friends that maybe suffered mentally, I would never could recommend them to do the show, because I would be lying if I said it wasn't. And at the end of the day, it is a TV show. So they do want the drama, and it is there that they will try and find a storyline.
Yeah.
I'm just lucky enough that I was strong enough to be like, if I don't want to do something, I'm not fucking doing it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the producers don't put a gun to your head and say you have to do this. Yeah. But a lot of people like to, when they fuck up, blame production, and I just don't agree with it.
It's such an easy out, and like, God, over the years, mate. So sort of, obviously, I first started reality TV 10 years ago, right?
Yeah, I know, you're a mess. I used to see you on my TV, a mess. I mean, if Ofcom was a thing back then, you'd have fucked.
Honestly, mate, I don't know how we got away with half the stuff we got away with. And like, I think if we were on a mainstream channel like ITV, I think it definitely would have been a different ball game. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, like I look at that and I think, God, there's plenty of moments where I was drunk and I was belligerent and I was obnoxious and aggressive and all that. And I'd love to go, oh no, it was a script. Oh no, the producers told us. But I've always had to say like, oh, I wish I could blame someone. And don't get us wrong, you're definitely a product of your environment. It's a high pressure situation. It's definitely not the real world. You're feeling a bit stressed. You know, you probably, maybe in my case, I was drunk, whatever, but you have got to take stuff on the chin, haven't you?
Well, you have. At the end of everything I said was me. I can't get away from it. Like that's the thing. But Love Island and ITV have taught me more about myself and allowed me to overcome things that I would never have been able to do in this outside world without that pressure and without, I wouldn't have been able to do it. So actually, I'm more grateful to them and thankful to them. And I know a lot of people come out and, oh, you know, we didn't like the way that things were set up between like you and how Teddy was made to look. But at the same time, me and Teddy are as strong as ever. So actually, who's winning?
So yeah, it's a butterfly effect, isn't it? It's the if things didn't happen in the exact order they did, you wouldn't be at the destination you're at now. And I can see from your socials, I can see from the pictures of you, you are super, super happy and really strong.
Well, oh my God, I never thought going into the show I could find somebody as incredible as Teddy. Like, I honestly didn't.
You didn't even want to say those words. Did they taste bitter when they came out?
I'm still very much like, why am I so soppy? And constantly he's like, you're a soppy bollocks. But I never thought that I would be in this situation with somebody. And I know people will think like, oh, we've been together like 2 months. Mm-hmm. But actually we've lived together for 3-4 months now, I think. And every single day. And it's been so hard to like be away from him. Yeah. But at the same time, when we left the villa, we knew that we were very aware that we're 26. Like we are probably the older ones that were in there. We are. The old ones that were in there.
That's really depressing. I don't want to hear any more talk of that. Being a woman in her 30s does not want to hear that. 26.
I am now on that slippery slope down to 30 as well. Don't worry, I'll be joining you there soon, hun.
I'll be fucking 40 by the time you get there. Fuck off.
Can I come to your 40th?
Yeah, come on, you may as well. Just don't say how old you are.
Yeah, make sure you bring your ID. And so I just never thought that but because we're so like that much more mature, you know, we're very much aware that to make this work, we do need to test being apart and, you know, him go like little things like him going clubbing on his own and how he reacts when he's really drunk and how I react when I'm really drunk with my friends. And I can honestly say I was with my friends on Friday night and I was dancing in my pants and I sent a video of it to Teddy. Like, and Teddy FaceTimed me at 5 a.m. whilst I'm tucked up in bed. And I'm like, I wake up in the morning and I'm like, bloody hell, what was the kid doing? But it's good. And yeah, I can't.
Healthy.
It is healthy. And that's the thing. Like, if things didn't happen in the villa the way they did, I wouldn't trust him like I do.
Yeah.
So actually, I'm just really grateful for it all.
And I think that's the best way to look at it and stuff. And like, nothing's ever plain sailing, and everybody's got like every good relationship has a couple grazed knees and stuff. So no, mate, I'm a big Freddy fan. Like here.
Oh, no one tell me you went had a screaming match with your boyfriend or husband.
Oh, come on, mate. Let's have it right. We've all just come out of lockdown, so we've had 18 months pretty much, like in the people we care about's pockets. And the first 6 weeks might have been a bit of a novelty, like, oh, I'm watching Netflix through the day. But once that fucking wears off, like, yeah, you want to tear strips off each other. So I think anybody looking at some moments of yours and Teddy's in the villa and not feeling like, fuck no, I've kind of been there before? Like, I'd challenge it. I'd say with all eyebrows. So no, mate, I don't think you should take anything like that to heart.
And also people as well, I don't bloody know them. Like the amount, like, you know, I felt sorry for like my sister that had to deal with the comments coming in on that night. She dealt with it amazingly, but people forget that that is still a human behind there having to deal with it. But yeah, I don't regret anything in my life. I'm sorry for what happened. But you know, I can't say I will regret it because it's made us who we are. So fuck off.
Like, I remember, so let's do it. We'll go to it. I wanted to ask you if you got any secrets from the villa, but I'll do that in a second, right? Let me, right, so we're in it now, Faye. I feel like when it all kicked off in the villa and I was sitting watching and I was like, this might say a lot about me, but I was like, we've all been there. That was literally my first one. I was like, oh, we've all been there, fucking hell, it is what it is, isn't it? Bless her. And I was like, I wish I could give her a cuddle and tell her like, it's going to be okay and that, but like, it is what it is. Anyway, my mates in the group chat were messaging in that and I was like, right, girls, before you say anything about Faye, I just want to remind you that I'm the girl that spat in someone's face on Geordie Shore. I was like, so I said, and look who I am now, right? I said, you know, and you had to defend me, you did this, you did that. And they all were like, you know, honestly, they're all like, you're fucking right. Like these situations, reality TV, and like, I know everybody's different and Geordie Shore and Love Island are a totally different show, I get that. But they're so high pressure. And you do feel really stressed and everything's heightened. And yes, it's catalyst for relationships. So like you say, you and Teddy feel closer than ever, which is great, but there's downsides. Everyone sees your bad bits and you feel like things are heightened. So mate, honestly, like.
But then that's what everyone was trying to compare me to and how I dealt with the situation to how different couples dealt with situations in the villa. But ITV and Love Island didn't put us in to all be the same.
No, of course not.
So, you know, and if we were all the same, would you be watching? No. And, you know, nobody can sit there and tell me that they'd be happy that the guy that they actually really, really liked, the only bit I heard from Catherine Moore, like, you got to think, I heard his side. I heard him saying that he was sat outside. I heard that he was with Lady on the day bed.
You heard like the best bits, the highlight reel. Yeah.
And, you know, no one again can sit here and tell me that you're, like, you know, someone you've been seeing in your past has come home from a night out and been like, I saw my ex out, but didn't even speak to her. And then 2 days later it goes, oh no, we did have a conversation on the stairs of the club, but you know, that's all that was said. And you know, it was just a passing comment. And then a message comes in, oh no, he was flirting with me. But so now put it in a different pot of I've been told one thing, and then I see on a screen in front of everyone that he's sexually attracted to someone else and that he didn't want to share a bed with her because he didn't trust himself.
Yeah.
Someone tell me who wouldn't be upset. Yes, I dealt with it wrong. And yes, I shouldn't have screamed and shouted. I'd had a pint, I'd had a glass of wine, and I lost my bloody head. Like,
oh, Faye, honestly, mate, like, that's so, quite frankly, probably a good thing that I wasn't young enough to be in Love Island because the whole of Magaluf would have been burnt to the ground.
You would have been out of there. There would have been matches there.
No, mate, listen, I just completely empathise with what you went through and understood. But like, it was a really divisive moment and it spawned 25,000 Ofcom complaints. Like, how do we feel about that now? Are we like, shit.
You know what?
You're like, hang on, I'm in a category with Amanda Holden's nipples and diversity's performance on Britain's Got More Talent. So where
well, you did your research. That scares me a little bit, Vicky. You guys got 25,000 Ofcom complaints.
Yeah, honestly, don't come to the Secret 2 and expect it to be off the cuff. We're professional here.
To me, I think, you know, and I've also had a lot of messages, like an unbelievable amount of messages from people saying, I complained, but I didn't complain about you. I complained about how you were set up.
Okay,
so
that's really interesting.
That I don't take offense to it because yes, I came home. Yes, I had to have a sit-down conversation with my mum and my dad and my sister about how I acted. No, they weren't. They really weren't, because they know for a fact that if I was at home, I would have got annoyed about something, or it's like, say that was played, or I got a message on Instagram saying your boyfriend was out last night and he was flirting with such and such. I would have said my piece, but I would have left, gone to my mum and dad's and screamed and shouted and cried and then I would have sacked the lad off. That's what I would have normally done, and I know I would have, but in this instance I couldn't. And you know, the Ofcom complaints, I understand them. If I was on the outside, I might have complained as well, because it's not nice to watch. And it's a side of me that obviously isn't out every day. Like, I don't choose to be that person. But unfortunately, like you say, it's just really high pressured. And you don't know how you're going to react until you're put in that situation.
No, you don't. You can't. You didn't anticipate really falling for Teddy the way you did. And I think with a girl like you, and I hope I'm not saying anything out of turn, but I kind of feel like you've probably been hurt before. You had like some trust issues, and you were finally letting yourself go and finally falling for him. And then you felt like he was the same as everyone else. And I just think that must have felt like a dagger to the heart. So I totally understood, and I'm not excusing it, mate, because I've
no shit.
Behavior, but I felt your pain, Faye. I really did. It must.
I know, you know, if I had sat there and if I had sobbed and I had cried and I reacted differently, obviously the public would have reacted differently as well. But you know, I didn't. I do get if I get put into a corner, I will lose my shit, because I don't know where to go. I couldn't see an escape route with it. And I did really like Teddy. So I was like you say, I was like, shit, like he's made me feel like this. And then obviously I heard what he'd been like in Catherine Moore, which he had actually been like. And I was like, it's just fucking lies. Like, a lot of it is lies. He is the same as every other arsehole that I've dated in my past. But then afterwards, like when we had the conversation and stuff, and you know, after that, even Teddy said he actually saw like a flip switch in me, and I was a completely different person. Like, I had let my guard down, and you know, I was letting him in, and I was really cuddly, and I wanted to be around him, whereas before I was always constantly pushing him away. But yeah, and he's amazing for sticking by me with that, so I can't fault him.
But then, you know, so regardless of what, like the complaints, regardless of anything, you have been like, you are divisive, but you've been super successful since you left. And I don't even mean to like toot your own trumpet, but you were like, you've been the most requested person for our Instagram as a guest. Mate, people love you. And I think there's so much to be said for like who you were in the villa. Like, that argument aside, because it was such a small part of who you were and your effect on Love Island this series, you were a real girl's girl, and you were strong and feisty. And in my opinion, you gave young people watching and older women watching, you gave them a different persona to be. So many lasses in Love Island and on reality TV and in films and everything in general, they're just told you got to be the victim. You've got to sit around and wait for the boy. You've got to, have a career, but when the lad comes, leave it, drop it all, be a man. You know, like, we're made to think that our life is somehow like intrinsically linked to being passive, to being a little girl. But you proved you could be like powerful and strong and sassy and opinionated, and I love that for you.
My dad said, though, it means so much, but my dad said, I knew you swore, but didn't think you swore that much. I was like, oh shit. But no, honestly, it means the fucking world, because you know, I'd always back everyone to the end. And you know, regardless if I've got an opinion on something, I'm really sorry, I'm gonna say it, because and if someone's got a problem with my opinion, I always believe that's your issue, that's not mine. As long as I've aired my problems and it's not weighing heavy on my chest, I'm good. You carry on. You take whatever you want from it. You can hate me for it. You can love me for it. You can tell me to fuck off. But I don't care, because it's not weighing heavy on me anymore. So, you know, and I've always been the same, and I'll always do anything for anyone. And I think you guys maybe didn't see that as much of me in the villa, but it speaks volumes that the amount of other islanders that have come out and then been like, oh, well, actually Faye's soft as shit, like he's a melt. But you know, we've all got barriers, and we've all got insecurities, and we've all got things that
they just manifest themselves different in other people, don't they?
But no, it means the world, Vicky, for you to say that, because I mean, some people just think of me as this like hard-faced cow, which obviously it can be as well.
Strong women, we can all have it anyway, but strong women often get a really bad rap, mate. And I think, you know, I love Love Island. I'm a huge fan. Like I say, I don't have to say it again. I would have definitely done it if I'd been young enough. But like, I think often the women in there get the worst, the raw end of the deal.
Yeah.
You know, like when the boys go off to Casa and Moore, and the girls almost sit there waiting for them and stuff. And I almost feel like the girls get the most hate, and I'm so protective because God, I just think, do these lasses know what they're getting themselves in for?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you flipped the script.
Yeah, I think it hurt as well because I think a lot of the ex-Islanders, like there was a lot of opinions on me from ex-Islanders, and that probably, I didn't know them, so I never take people's opinions of me that I don't know to heart at all.
You can't.
It was the one opinion I thought, you know what goes on, like I am a little bit like, hang on, and then I've come out and obviously there's been like a few that want to talk to me, and I'm like, oh, I've not talked to you, don't fucking talk to me unless you want to say sorry. I ain't here for it.
No, I think everyone in reality TV should stick together a bit, and everyone, all girls especially, I think we should stick together because we know it's quite hard. So you just keep doing you, lass. Keep smashing it. Right, next question.
Okay.
Before I break for part one, I want to know if there's any secrets. Like, you know, we see. God, we watch this every night, but there must be, you get filmed 24 hours a day, so there has to be loads of behind the scenes stuff we don't see. So do you ever see anyone from the outside world? I want to know.
The only people we see from the outside world are security and production.
Okay.
So that's the only two things we see, only two people we see. Oh, and the medic. So you see the medic every day.
Is that just to make sure you are like well and safe and everything?
Yeah, obviously they have to like give you your vitamins, and like if you take your pill or stuff like that, all of that is on the medic. And then apart from that, no, you don't see anyone.
Nothing. Okay, right, next question. I used to love it. I used to feel like old school Love Island when they'd sit and like puff away on a fag and that. And that's where I feel like we got the goss. That's where I feel like everyone just chilled out and everyone bitched and laughed and cracked on, and you found out who'd fingered who and all that. And I was like, yes, I love this bit. But they've done away with the smoking on screen, which I completely understand.
Yeah.
But are you guys still allowed to smoke? And do they stop you chatting on those smokes now?
So no one smoked on our series.
Oh my God, okay.
No one smoked at all. So no one smoked at all. And then was it? I don't know actually. There's a box basically out the front of the villa where you saw Liberty breakdown with me out the front of the villa. And there's a little box there that has your own cigarettes in if you smoke. Yeah. But obviously there's a camera there anyway. So if anything did happen, and you're only allowed out for a cigarette one at a time. Okay. But I only know that because that's what they said right at the beginning of the series, but then no one smoked anyway, so no one was out there. Okay, good to know. That's good to know. Next question. My pal, Scott Thomas, obviously did the show years ago. Yeah. And like he's a bit, me and him like grew up partying together in Manchester and all the rest of it. So I was a bit worried about him going in. And like I've said this to him before, I was like, God, if you get a skinful and you're just such a lovely person, but I wonder what will happen if you get really drunk. He could be like me, a bit leery. And he was like, honestly, I never got the opportunity to get very drunk. Like they give you like 3 drinks or something. Is there a limit? Is there a limit? No, there is a limit, and I will let you actually into a big secret. Oh my God, I'm so excited. I got goosebumps. Tell me. So they only give you 2 drinks a night, and that's fine. They might shout at me for this, but they put your drinks in the larder. And I'm saying it on the night that obviously Mad Movies happened. I'd gone into the larder where all the drinks were, but I'd emptied my water bottle, which was metal this year. Yeah. And filled it with wine. So I had like my drinks bottle full of, but not even ITV know that, so sorry ITV. Well, you've done it now. Because they went in and they were like, a couple of like other, what are they called? Islanders. Islanders went in, were like, my drink's not there. And I was like, you're like, just wait, because I'm about to make it worth it. Watch what I've got in my locker. There you go. So I'd had 2 beers on Mad Movies when we were sat on the table. I then had my 2 glasses of wine that I was allowed. Yeah. And then I had my juice bottle full of wine. You see, that's always when I lost my temper in the Geordie Shore house. But that's why they don't too much. But that is why they have the drinks limit. So things like that don't happen. You can kind of see now why they have it. They have our best interests at heart, guys, always.
They certainly do. Right, mate, I'm going to end part 1 and I've got so many more questions to ask you. So will you please come back in part 2?
No.
Aww. You should have had fucking Liberty on instead.
She's on everything else. She hasn't been here. We could have done it together. No.
See you, and I'll see you in part 2. Hello everybody and welcome back to part 2 of Vicky, Pattison, The Secret 2. I am joined by the most divisive cast member from this year's Love Island, but certainly one of my favourites. It's Faye Winter, everybody.
Oh, divisive! What is this word?
It means you divided opinions, Faye. How do you feel about that?
I thought that was the word diverse.
We can call you diverse if you want, but I would go with divisive, and I think.
Oh, I'm going to take your word for it.
Good, I'm pleased. I do have a degree. I haven't used the cunt, but I have got one.
I haven't, so I am talentless. That's why they have me on Love Island. Oh yeah.
God. But you, honestly, mate, like I have to give you a credit where credit's due. Like so many scenes from this year's series stick out to me, and it's because of things you did. Like, you know, when like the new girls came in and all the lasses are like hanging over watching the lads like, oh God, she's so pretty, and oh my God, what are they saying and what's she doing? And you were sitting filing your nails. I couldn't have fangirled you any harder. I was like, no, I love that for her. She is an unproblematic queen. She's unbothered. I love that.
Unproblematic, huh?
It was early doors, Fake is a break.
We liked you in the early days, mate.
No, I liked you all the way through, babe. I've already said super soft spot.
Sorry, I just really wanted you to butter me up some more. Wanted to hear it again.
Come to the right place. I do a lot of sucking off here on the podcast. I do love you guys. I honestly, so I've just seen in the break, and guys, you missed it, so I'll repeat it for you all. I was just in front on the red carpet of Faye and Teddy at this year's NTAs, and like, I'm really conscious, like, oh God, I've been in this industry 10 years, I should be cooler, but I'm not cool. And every time I like meet, especially Love Islanders, because it's such a huge reality TV juggernaut, and I sit and watch it like with my snacks in my fella like everybody else. And even though I said I wasn't going to get addicted this summer, I still got addicted. So yeah, so when I seen you on the red carpet, I was like, oh God, like I want to say something. You looked incredible, unbelievable. And honestly, I've got to say, this Teddy is fucking something else, mate, isn't he?
He is so fit. I literally wanted to like walk just down the carpet in front of him, just like, and ladies and gentlemen,
giving him a clap.
Here he is. He's the lad himself. He is fit. Like I've never worked like he wakes up in the morning fit. He's tired, looks fit. I'm like, why? Why are you doing this to me? Why?
But like honestly, I don't blame you. He's so handsome, and like more than that, like there's this. And I'm gonna make it all stop me now, which I know you hate.
Oh, go on then.
Got this energy for you, hasn't he?
Oh, he's just you're around him and you feel good. Like he like just makes you feel amazing.
It's
and
calming, isn't it?
He's so calming. Like I'll ring him and I'll like be a bit hyped up about something. And he'll just literally like flip on his head and I'll be like, okay, hadn't thought of it like that. But now you come to mention it, do you know what? I'm a bit calmer. Like it's really bizarre. And my mum and dad are like, I never thought we'd see this side of you. It's a bit weird. But who is this person?
It's so lovely that he's bringing out all those nice things in you, because I'm very similar. Like I can get hit very easy. My instant reaction is always to be dramatic. Like everything's the end of the world. I'm a bit Chicken Little-y. The sky is always falling. But like with Erkan, like he's like, it's all right, babe. Well, he's the same. And I didn't realize I needed someone like that until I had someone like that. You know, all my past boyfriends, like very toxically masculine, like very, very kind of like matched my energy in loads of ways. And subsequently, it was fireworks. It would always be quite intense and quite argumentative. But with Erkan, like I actually really struggle to argue with him, like because he's so chilled. And I'm a bit like, oh, and I have this theory, right? So about couples. I've always been able to be like, oh, poor Vicky in relationships, because I've always gone out with these really extreme dickheads. Because there's always got to be one dickhead in a relationship. There has to be. That's the law of the world. I don't make the rules.
You don't think like you might be the common denominator, no?
No, that has never occurred to us. until now. But no, there's always one, and everyone's always like, oh God, poor Vicky going out with that fella, you know, and oh God, I hope Vicky's all right. Isn't Vicky so nice? I've always been that person, you know, because everyone's like, oh shit, look at her boyfriend. But now that I'm going out with Erkan, who in everybody's eyes could never do anything wrong, I'm the dickhead by default. So now,
can you imagine it? Can you imagine? Like, let's say, but never gonna happen. But Teddy cheats on me. Faye's fault. Do you know what? If Faye made him do it,
I bet Faye drove him to that. I bet you should. Honestly, I swear.
Teddy makes us go bankrupt. Faye's fault. She spent all his money.
I
can see it. It's happening.
Erkan could go away and father like 15 illegitimate children, right? And I'm telling you right now, everybody would be sitting there going, poor Erkan. I bet you should never shagged them. Like, I bet you it'd be my fault. I'm telling you. And I feel like this is the unfortunate side of going out with someone as nice as Teddy, as nice as Erkan. We are the dickheads by default.
I know I've been a dickhead my whole life, so we're all fine. I think it actually happened when I was doing my audition for Love Island. I was like, right, so I've been out with this, that, the other. I've dated this, that, the other. Like, they're all arseholes. And I literally sat there and I was like,
maybe it's me.
Maybe I am the common denominator. Who knows? I mean, I don't want to admit to it, but actually, maybe I am the problem.
Nah, it takes two to tango, lass, trust us. And it does sound as though you've found like the yin to your yang.
Oh, 1,000,000%. He's incredible. He is absolutely incredible.
And you're going from strength to strength since you've left the villa. I know like couples tend to move very fast when they come out.
Yeah.
And I completely understand. Like that intense environment is like a pressure cooker, and it often acts for catalysts for relationships. Like look at even things like, you know, Big Brother and The Jungle and who will ever forget, like Peter Andre and Katie Price, like that, you know, iconic. But like these relationships, like they form so quickly because you go through something that not a lot of people can understand. So I get it, but are you trying to keep measured? Are you trying to say like, oh God, let's chill, let's take things at a pace? Are you just like, fuck this, put a baby in his? Oh, are you pregnant right now?
You see me with a fucking kid? No. No, I'm not
that challenge was brilliant.
No,
you hid in the cupboard, didn't you?
I hated it. So you don't understand. It cried every 20 seconds. I never asked for it. I didn't want it. I've got a coil fitted for 5 years, hun. There's nothing touching this shit. Honest to God, I couldn't think of anything worse. And I've always said to my mum, like, ever since like a young age, I have kids, I am dropping it at her doorstep on the second day, and I'll pick it up when it doesn't look like a potato. I hate it. So I'm
not the usual maternal instincts going on there. We're gonna take a breath on that front.
But
yeah,
I say I always say Teddy, she have a baby.
You would have very good looking children. I'm not saying that's a reason to do it, like, but they would be genetically blessed.
Oh, well, I don't know about genetic, probably a filler. But no, I feel like he's amazing, and no, we're not, we are trying to as well strip it back a bit and have like a normal relationship. You've got to think the challenges we overcame in the villa, those challenges that we overcame in 8 weeks, most couples don't even overcome in a year.
It's a 6 to 12 months shit, isn't it? Out of the honeymoon period.
It was weird. Like, did I ever think, like, I'm not being funny, I don't like staying over a lad's house until they've been like dating a few months. Like, I find it a bit weird. Like, it's all a bit strange. Like, literally first night coming up together, all right, welcome to my sack, welcome to my bed. Like,
it's mad, isn't it?
It is mad. And then, so we've come out and we are finding a place together. We, fingers crossed, we have good news this week. But as well, but at the same time, I do need to be down in Devon quite a lot at the moment. So, and he'll be in the house and I'll be between the two, but it'll be our base and it'll be what we're doing. Like he goes out with his brothers all the time. Like
his brothers who look just like him as well.
I can't really say that they're fit because they're his brothers.
Well, I can.
They're very good family full of genes. Like,
I love that.
they've got good genes.
Not saying his brothers are fit, but they've got good genes.
Not saying they're fit. I wouldn't say I wouldn't go there if they went with Teddy. And there is one single, so I'm trying to hook him up with someone. Well, not someone, just someone. Like, I'm going to get him a girlfriend.
Oh, okay. Well, look, I'm sure there'll be plenty of us after everyone hears this podcast.
I know.
Right. So he's Manchester based. You're Devon based. Are you looking London for work?
Just outside London. All I'll say is like M4 route, so it's easy for me to jump on M4 and get down to Devon.
Oh, you said loads of roady things. I don't drive, so I went straight.
You don't drive?
Nah, honestly, how bad am I? So when everyone was learning, when they were like 16 to 18, I was very drunk. And then
how do you get around?
So I get on the train quite a lot. Ercan drives. I also have a driver.
Of course, you've got a driver.
Yeah,
I'd really like to be taken to London, please.
No, it's only because I can't get Milo in normal cars anymore. Like Ubers turn up and they're like, I'm not taking that horse with you. And I swear he's a puppy. So that's the only reason for that. But I am trying to learn. I do want my independence before.
Have you? Yeah, well, you know, you're fast approaching.
Fuck off.
No, but just do automatic, it'll be fine.
Well, I tried to learn, and my driving style was described as highly unpredictable and very dangerous. I was called.
It's like my personality.
Right, so living just outside of London, I love that. That's where we've picked. You get a little bit more for your money there as well.
Well, where are you going? Do you want to be neighbours?
Well, I can't really say it on the podcast. I don't want weird people turning up, but I'll message
me.
I'll message you the exact address.
I know where you are. I am that weird person. I am turning up at your house.
You are welcome anytime, just as long as you bring.
Right, everyone heard that anytime.
I wanted to say that not many people must know this about you, but your previous job, which you absolutely loved, was like a lettings agent. Is that helping with the house hunt, all those skills?
Oh, it's so weird being on at the other side of things. So I'll be like, I'll ask a question, but then I answer it for them.
Don't know if you know, but I used to do this for a living.
So I'm like, oh, where'd you register the deposit? Is it in the DPS for my deposits? They're like, okay, you're weird. Or I'll be like, okay, so how big's this room again? I forgot. Don't worry, I've got my laser tape measure.
Oh, mate. But so do you still miss the old job, or are you just super content and super rushed up with the new one?
I miss it. I do miss it because I've done it for 10 years. Like, I love it. Like, for me as well, like, it's just second it. And in the company I worked for was amazing. I went out for drinks with them Friday night. You know, like, they're amazing. And for me, like, not very many people in this world can say they love going to work and they enjoy going to work, but I really did. Like, it wasn't, and that's why for me it wasn't even a question. That's why I went on a sabbatical, because I would always have gone back if, like, you know, if this didn't work out and my job were like, we'll have you back in a heartbeat. Like, you know, I mean, I hate to blow my own trumpet, but I was top letting agent in it.
I was just gonna say, I bet you could sell ice to the Eskimos, could you?
I mean, I'll give it a damn good shot. And if they don't sell it, then they'll end up under the ice.
I wouldn't like to say no to you either.
I would say because Teddy's was a salesman as well previous, and I'm always like, I am a better salesman than you, and he's always like, oh, 1,000,000%. There's no point about. There's no point in argument. I always say he asks a lot of questions. Like, I'll be like, Teddy, I'm gonna go get a drink. He'll be like, why? I'm like, because I am. Like, I'll be like, I'm gonna go and put the dog in the car. Why? I'm going for a dog walk. Why? Where are you going? He asks a lot, and for me that's quite good because I'm just so like bull in a china shop that I'm just like running around Yarrow Abbott, and we kind of done that with the houses. So he was quite good being there, like, okay, he's asking like very good questions.
Yeah, okay.
But then there was one time he was like, oh, I am just going to knock on the walls, and I was like, no, you're not. I said, knock on the wall, and I'll knock on your head because you're not. I hate it when men go around properties.
Toxic, yeah. Oh.
I'm like, what are you knocking for? Are you a surveyor? No. Do you know what you're knocking for? No.
Is this a Lord Baron, is it? Or one of them? Oh, mate. Copper pipes, aye? No, I can't cope. Toxically masculine, it drives me mental, and something happens to them.
Do not knock on those walls. Like that, and he went in, he was like this. And I was like, right, okay.
We're not living here. Ercan's favourite, and like I do love him for it afterwards. In the heat of the moment, I die inside. It's like, is that the best price? Like every time, when we were house hunting, like, this is the best price then, and I'm like, fucking on the telly, just pay them what they want. Like, I get so embarrassed. And obviously,
that's what Teddy said. He was like, do you reckon we can negotiate the price? I was like, no, it's like, I've still got access to like the back end of like Rightmove and Zoopla, so I can see like what people paid for it.
Yeah.
The last time it was rented, we're going into rented. I know.
Squirrel, I love it.
So then I go back with I'm like, no, don't ask the question of, oh, can we get it any cheaper? We go in with facts. I'm going in with a fact finder. This is what's rented in the area. This is what you rented it for last time. That's the fucking offer. Take it or leave it.
Listen, you can't outschool me. I've done my research. I like that. You've obviously got very different approaches to even whether it's like house hunting or life or whatever. I'm so spoiled. I do just think it complements you, and it's probably why the relationship is working so well. I've read that there is going to be like a race to the altar between you and Teddy and Chloe and Toby. Oh, like everything's going great. Are you as serious as that?
Oh, I would love. I hate to bring the age thing up again. Sorry, Vicky, but I'm 26. I think to myself, I'm not in this for shits and giggles anymore. Like,
I always say you're either dating to get married or you're dating for heartbreak.
Yeah, and I'm definitely not dating for fucking heartbreak, because he will rip my heart out, rip it in two, and then spit on it if he breaks up with me.
Oh no, I don't think he's got it in him, babe. He hasn't. He's not that type of fella.
Oh, well, let's hope not, eh? For both mine and yours and his sake.
Oh, I'm predominantly for Teddy's sake, but I'm just thinking like it's a long haul, me, babe. I really am.
Yeah, I can't. There's nothing I can fault in him right now, and since we've had our massive blowout, we've not had an argument. Weird, I know. I don't know if it's because he just doesn't we just don't get to a point of an argument. Like, he just laughs at me, even if I start like getting a bit irate. He just starts laughing, and then I start laughing, and then we're both just laughing. I'm like, well, what's going on?
Diffused. He's a diffuser. I like
he is. He's amazing.
We know fiery girls like me and you. We need a bit of that.
Yeah, we do. We actually do. And I didn't realize how much until I met him.
Honestly, it's scary how much they bring to your life when you find a good one. Don't let them hear that.
Yeah.
So I know that the relationship's going well. I want to know what's next for you, Faye, like in terms of your career and your job. And do you have goals, ambitions? I know you didn't have any idea what you wanted when you were in there, but now you're out and you can see the potential. Is there anything you'd really love to do?
So everything I'm doing is what I'm passionate about. I'm not gonna move away from what I'm passionate about. I never went in there to chase any deals, to do anything like that. Hopefully, fingers crossed, I have something coming out this week, next week. And then I've got a really exciting project coming up, which I am really buzzed for. Yeah. But it's all authentic to me. Yeah. And that's all I can say. It's all going to be what I love, what I adore, and what I believe in. I've come out of the villa, and I'm probably the biggest pain in the ass for my management, because things come to me and I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. Like, I don't want to put my face to that, or I wouldn't wear that. That's not my collection. I haven't chosen that. I'm not doing it. So they're probably thinking, fucking hell, does this girl ever want to get paid?
We've got such a work shy Love Islander here, guys.
But I just think I've got such a platform now. Yeah. Like, why would I come out and do the same as everyone else? That it isn't my passion. It doesn't make sense.
I think listening to you talk, it's very hard for me not to want to patronize you, because I don't want to say, oh my God, you're just so wise for your age, because that's horrific. I hate when people say things like that to me, but I mean it as such a compliment, Faye. Like, if I could have had half the head that you've got on your shoulders when I first started doing everything, like, my life would have been a lot easier. Like, the path I've chosen, I love where I am now, and being a butterfly effect believer, like, I can't change anything. But you're so right. When I came out the jungle, it was Rylan once gave me some brilliant advice, right? He said, it's more important what you say no to than what you say yes to. He says, you'd be so tempted to say yes to everything that comes your way, especially when there's big flashy price tags on everything. And he went, but be aware that when you say yes to something, you are saying no to something else. So if I'd said I did it at the time, I said yes to everything because I was like, oh my God, I'm in demand and it's so nice. Especially coming from Geordie Shore.
Yeah. And it was a completely different audience for you, wasn't it?
Totally, mate. And I'd been very divisive in Geordie Shore and controversial. People weren't dying for me to wear their clothes, and they weren't wanting me to promote their fake tan. It was weird. Probably because I was bright orange, which is not a desirable colour in retrospect. But I
don't think I'm going to be getting many people come to me wanting to do my lip filler, but
it works for us, hon. We can't please everyone.
I am actually having to get them dissolved. Actually, I'm going to say I like them, but I am having to have them dissolved. Shit. Oh yeah, because when we did Snog Marry Pie, the challenge, Aaron pied me really hard. I could actually show you on the camera, and I've got a massive filler lump there.
Yeah.
I know.
So what are you going to do, mate? Are you going to have them dissolved and a little bit put in? Are you going to go dissolved and straight away back to what you are now? What do you feel like?
I'm going to have them dissolved, and then I'm going to have it put back in. But we're going to do like a different technique, I hope. So they won't be so out. But naturally, I do have paper cut thin lips. So, you know, they're always going to be... I like a big lip. I don't give a shit. I like it. So, you know what? If I like it, I'm having it.
Honestly, hon, like, I think what is lovely about you is, like, you are really content with who you are, and really... You just like, this is me, this is what I want. And I think that's super important, especially in the industry you're in now, and oh God, in the world we're all in with social media. Like, as long as you know what you like and you stick to your guns, fucking good for you.
Yeah, I just think to myself, you know, what I'm doing, if I shy away from what I've done and what I'm doing to myself, there's an element of embarrassment there that I'm doing it. I'm not embarrassed by anything that I bloody do. So take it or leave it. If you don't like it, don't watch me. Don't see what I'm doing. Don't care.
That brings me so fucking nicely on to, every time I have a gorgeous guest on, we try to give our lovely listeners a bit of a takeaway. It just so they don't feel like they've just listened to me talk shite for an hour and they've learned something. Our generation is, and I'm sorry I've lumped you in with that, you're clearly 10 years younger, but we are all so obsessed with what everyone thinks about and like doing things right and not upsetting everybody. And, you know, like, every time I put a post up on Instagram, I'm like, oh God, is that going to be well received? And like, I lie in bed at night thinking, like, did I put a kiss on that message? Is that person mad at me? Like, I refuse to let myself forget any of my mistakes. And subsequently, right, I just think we live a bit of a half life, always worried about what people think. There's something really special about you, mate. And you just embrace who you are. And even if you have got a grazed knee or a bit of a mistake or a speed bump along the way, you forgive yourself, you learn from it, you grow. And I think that's super important. And a lot of people could learn from you. I want to know what your secret is to learning to forgive yourself.
It's mad, isn't it? Because my mistakes have been played out in front of the nation.
Normal. It's not normal. You know, let's have it right.
But if that's on TV, if that's out in public, or if that's behind closed doors, regardless of what your mistakes are, we all make them. Yeah. We all make mistakes. We're human. How boring would our lives be, and how many opportunities wouldn't be there for us if other people didn't make mistakes? Yeah. You know, it is natural, unfortunately. We aren't here to be superhuman. It'd be fucking boring if we were. You know, like, actually, so what? You know, if you've said the wrong thing, you've done wrong, you can always say sorry, and you can always learn from it. Yeah. And that's the big thing. You need to know that if you've made these mistakes, it's not a mistake if you learn from it.
Yeah, that's it. And like, you're so right. And again, I'm fucking sounding like I'm patronising you like your grandma. I don't mean to, but you're just wise beyond your years in a lot of respects. Like,
do you know what? I'm actually a lot older than I told everyone. I just got fat loads of Botox.
Faye's actually my age. We're having a joint 40th.
Right, this will be on the Daily Mail tomorrow. Great.
Get on this.
I'm not 995, guys. Just so you know.
Get on this. This is the worst thing I've ever done to Erkan. So, right, he is 28, just turned. But like everyone...
You cougar. I love... before Teddy, Cougarville was a thing. Cougarville was a thing.
Such a cougar. But like everyone just assumed when we first started going out, like, oh God, because it's 3 years, they're like, he can't be 25 if she's 31. Like, that's can't be right. He must be 35. So they just started reporting that he was 35 when we first started going out, right? And I liked it, and I also knew it wound him up, so I just didn't correct them. He's now 38 in the press, and he hates it every time, and I just don't correct anybody. I'll let it go.
Yeah, the thing is that, like, if you're happy, you're happy. But that's another thing. Such a stigma. And I went on Love Island. There's a stigma about that shit. Who made this stigma? Who are you? I want to know who you are that made the stigma that us lovely women can't go out with a younger man.
I'm going to say weird old bald men. I'm going to put it out there. Weird old bald men.
It actually is, yeah. Or it is unfortunately 60-year-old women, and they've got nothing else to do. It is.
Sorry. It's been such a pleasure having you on today, mate. I absolutely love you. And I've got fingers crossed for everything, for the house coming off, for your lovely new project. And if you ever need like any help or any promoting on Insta, you know where I am. I want you to do well.
We all heard it here first, guys. If I do something and she doesn't promote it, then I'm coming for her.
No, you're
amazing.
I want you to smash it. Thank you so much. Mate.
You're amazing. Thank you so much for having me.